There are things within our control and things beyond it. Our thoughts, feelings, desires, and dislikes fall within our sphere of influence. Conversely, external factors like our body, wealth, power, and fame are outside our control. This concept is foundational to the teachings of the ancient Greek philosophers. To live a happy and stress-free life, it's crucial to accept that we can't control everything. Our focus should be on what we can influence, rather than worrying about what we cannot. One of the greatest challenges we face is dealing with the opinions and judgments of others. These external views can have a significant impact, whether positive or negative. To minimize their effect, we must understand that we cannot alter other people's opinions or prevent personal attacks and insults. By studying the Stoic manual of life, particularly the teachings of Epictetus, we learn how to handle hurtful situations. The aim of this video is to explore 10 principles from Epictetus's manual and demonstrate how they can help us achieve a mental state that diminishes or eliminates the suffering caused by others' judgments. This lesson will explain why you shouldn't worry about others' opinions and how to reach a state where their views no longer affect you. If you're new here, consider subscribing to ensure you don't miss any of the valuable content we're creating. Watch till the end to catch all the useful insights. Let's begin. Number 1. Insults or offenses. Let's dive deep into one of the most profound yet practical principles of Stoicism: how to handle insults or offenses. Ever had someone throw a snide remark your way, and it just sticks with you all day, gnawing at your peace of mind? It's a common experience, but Stoicism offers a way to rise above these petty jabs. First off, let's get something straight. Words are just sounds, vibrations in the air. It's us who give them meaning and power. When someone insults you, what they're really doing is offering their opinion. It's their perspective, colored by their biases, insecurities, and mood. But here's the kicker: you get to choose whether you accept their gift of negativity or not. Imagine you're walking through a marketplace. A vendor offers you something you don't want. You don't have to buy it, right? Similarly, when someone hurls an insult your way, you don't have to accept it. This is a fundamental Stoic idea: you control your reaction. You're the gatekeeper of your peace. Marcus Aurelius, the famous Stoic emperor, put it succinctly: choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been. Now, let's get real. It's easier said than done, right? You're in the middle of a heated argument, and someone says something hurtful. Your blood boils, and you're ready to snap back. But take a beat, a deep breath. Remember that their words reflect them more than they reflect you. They're revealing their own character, not yours. Epictetus, another Stoic sage, would remind his students, it is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. To make this practical, think about a time someone insulted you. Replay the scenario in your mind, but this time, imagine yourself as a calm observer. The person is angry, their words sharp. Instead of absorbing the insult, you let it bounce off, like a rubber ball hitting a wall. You see their frustration, but you don't let it penetrate your inner peace. You remain composed, almost detached. This isn't about suppressing your feelings, but rather mastering them. You're not ignoring the insult, you're just choosing a different response. One trick is to reframe the insult. Instead of taking it personally, see it as an opportunity to practice patience and resilience. If someone calls you a fool, think to yourself, well, that's their opinion. It doesn't define me. This mental shift can be incredibly empowering. It's like a mental jiu-jitsu move, flipping the negative energy on its head. Also, consider this: people who lash out with insults are often dealing with their own inner turmoil. Maybe they had a rough day, maybe they're insecure, or perhaps they're projecting their own issues onto you. Understanding this can foster empathy. When you see their humanity, it's easier to let their words slide off your back. You realize it's not really about you, it's about them. And here's a wild idea. What if you responded to insults with humor or kindness? Picture this, someone insults you, and instead of getting defensive, you smile and say, "Thanks for your feedback," or "I appreciate your opinion." This disarms the insulter and shows that their words have no hold over you. It's like a superpower, turning potential conflict into a non-issue. Let's not forget, Stoicism is a practice. You won't master it overnight. There will be times when an insult stings more than you'd like. That's okay. The key is to keep practicing, to keep reminding yourself that you have the power to choose your response. Over time, you'll find that insults lose their sting, and you become more centered, more at peace. So next time someone tries to hurt you with their words, remember, you're the master of your mind. Their insult is just noise, and you're the one who decides whether to tune in or tune out. Keep practicing, and watch as your inner strength grows, making you unshakable in the face of negativity. Number 2, hold onto your goals. Next, let's talk about one of the cornerstone principles of Stoicism, holding onto your goals. You know, it's easy to set goals, right? Everyone does it. But sticking to them, now that's the real challenge. Life throws curveballs, distractions pop up, and before you know it, you're miles away from where you wanted to be. But here's the thing, Stoicism isn't just about setting goals, it's about steadfastly sticking to them no matter what. Think about it like this, your goals are like a lighthouse in the distance, guiding you through the stormy seas of life. Sometimes the waves will be rough, and the sky might be dark, but that light, your goals, remains a constant. It's a reminder of where you're heading, no matter how chaotic things get around you. First off, let's be real, life is unpredictable. You might start with a clear vision, but then life happens. Maybe you lose your job, have a falling out with a friend, or face some unexpected health issues. It's tempting to throw your hands up and say, "What's the point?" But this is where the Stoic mindset comes in. It teaches us to focus on what we can control, our actions, our responses, and yes, our goals. One of the best things you can do is break your goals down into bite-sized pieces. Instead of staring at the mountain and feeling overwhelmed, focus on one step at a time. Today, it's not about reaching the peak, it's about making it to the next ridge. Tomorrow, you tackle the next part. This approach not only makes your goals more manageable but also keeps you motivated. Each small win is a victory, a step closer to your ultimate goal. Now, let's talk about the distractions. They're everywhere, aren't they? Social media, TV, endless notifications on your phone. It's so easy to get sidetracked. The key here is to create a little bubble for yourself, a space where you can focus. Maybe it's a quiet room, a specific time of day, or even a mindset. When you're in this bubble, it's just you and your goals. Everything else fades into the background. And hey, let's not forget the power of visualization. Picture yourself achieving your goals. Imagine the feeling, the sense of accomplishment. This isn't just some fluffy self-help advice, it's about creating a mental image that motivates you. When you can see it, you can believe it. And when you believe it, you're more likely to work for it. But what about when you hit a wall? Because let's be honest, there will be times when you feel stuck. Maybe progress is slower than you expected, or you face setbacks. This is where resilience comes in. Stoicism teaches us to expect adversity. Instead of being surprised or discouraged by obstacles, anticipate them. See them as part of the journey. Each challenge is an opportunity to strengthen your resolve, to prove to yourself just how committed you are to your goals. Sometimes, it helps to look at the bigger picture. Ask yourself, why did I set this goal in the first place? Reconnecting with your original motivation can reignite your passion. Maybe it's about personal growth, helping others, or achieving something you've always dreamed of. Whatever it is, Keep that reason close to your heart. It's your fuel when the going gets tough. And here's a little trick: accountability. Share your goals with someone you trust. It could be a friend, a mentor, or even a community of like-minded individuals. When others know about your goals, you're more likely to stick to them. They can offer support, encouragement, and a gentle nudge when you need it. Finally, be kind to yourself. Holding onto your goals doesn't mean you have to be perfect. There will be days when you falter, and that's okay. What's important is getting back on track. Reflect on what went wrong, learn from it, and move forward. Progress isn't always linear, but as long as you're moving in the right direction, you're on the right path. So, hold on to your goals with everything you've got. They're your guide, your motivation, and your reason to keep pushing forward. Remember, the journey might be tough, but the destination is worth every step. Stay focused, stay resilient, and keep your eyes on that lighthouse. Number 3, don't stress if someone says bad things about you. Alright, let's get real for a second. We've all been there. You're going about your day, feeling pretty good about yourself, and then bam! Someone throws shade your way. Maybe it's a snarky comment, a nasty remark, or even a full-on criticism. It hits you like a ton of bricks, and suddenly, your mood plummets. You start questioning everything. But here's the kicker: it doesn't have to be this way. Seriously. First off, let's get one thing straight: people are going to talk. It's just a fact of life. Some folks just can't resist the urge to share their opinions, no matter how misguided or unkind they might be. But why should their words have power over you? Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, had some killer advice on this. He said, "If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth, by which no one was ever truly harmed." What Marcus is saying here is golden. If the criticism is valid, great, you've learned something. If not, why let it bother you? Imagine you're walking down the street, and a stranger yells, "Hey, you're a purple giraffe." You'd probably laugh it off because it's so obviously untrue and ridiculous. So why do we let more subtle, yet equally baseless, comments get under our skin? The truth is, a lot of what people say about us has more to do with them than with us. It's a reflection of their own insecurities, biases, and sometimes, their bad day. Now, once again, I know what you're thinking. It's easier said than done, right? Totally. But here's a little trick from the Stoics that can help: the dichotomy of control. This principle is all about recognizing what's within your control and what's not. You can't control what others say or think about you, but you can control how you respond. You can choose to shrug it off, to not give those words the weight they're craving. Think about it like this: your mind is a fortress, and you're the gatekeeper. Not everything gets in. When someone lobs a verbal grenade your way, you've got the power to defuse it before it explodes. Ask yourself, is this really worth my peace of mind? 9 times out of 10, the answer is a resounding no. And hey, let's not forget the power of empathy. Sometimes, understanding where the other person is coming from can take the sting out of their words. Maybe they're dealing with their own issues, and you're just an unfortunate target. This doesn't excuse their behavior, but it can help you see that their negativity is more about them than about you. Another great way to handle criticism is to look at it as a learning opportunity. No, really. Even the harshest comments can have a nugget of truth in them. If someone says you're always late, and it bugs them, maybe it's time to check if there's some truth there. Self-improvement is a lifelong journey, and sometimes our critics inadvertently point us in the right direction. But let's also acknowledge the elephant in the room: some people are just plain mean. They thrive on bringing others down. For these folks, the best response is often no response at all. Don't feed the trolls, as they say. By not reacting, you're showing them that their words have no power over you. You're living the Stoic ideal of being unaffected by the external noise. In the end, remember this: you define your worth, not others. You know your strengths, your values, and what makes you, you. Don't let anyone take that away from you with a few unkind words. Keep your head high, stay true to yourself, and let the negativity roll off your back like water off a duck's feathers. You've got this. Number 4, the power of being mentally strong. Picture this: you're in the middle of a storm. Not a literal one, but a life storm. People are throwing negativity your way, problems keep piling up, and you feel like you're drowning. But here's the kicker: if you've got that mental grit, you can weather any storm without losing your cool. It's like having an invisible shield that deflects all the crap life throws at you. Being mentally strong isn't about pretending everything's fine when it's not. No, it's about acknowledging the chaos, facing it head on, and saying, "I got this." Imagine Marcus Aurelius, sitting in his tent, with the weight of an empire on his shoulders, calmly writing in his journal. That's mental strength. He didn't shy away from the pressures. He faced them, embraced them, and came out stronger. Now, how do we get there? It starts with self-awareness. You need to know your strengths and weaknesses, your triggers, and your limits. It's like being an army general planning for battle. You can't win if you don't know your own troops. So, take a moment to reflect. What pushes your buttons? What makes you feel invincible? This isn't just navel-gazing, it's strategic prep work for the battlefield of life. Next up, let's talk about resilience. Think of it as your bounce-back ability. When life knocks you down, and it will, resilience is what helps you get back up, dust yourself off, and keep moving forward. It's about learning from your mistakes, not being defeated by them. Remember that time you failed spectacularly? Yeah, that one. Did you stay down, or did you get back up and try again? Mental strength is all about the latter. It's about turning those failures into stepping stones. And hey, don't underestimate the power of a positive mindset. It sounds cliché, but there's a reason you hear it all the time. Your thoughts shape your reality. If you're constantly telling yourself that you're not good enough, guess what? You're going to start believing it. But flip the script, start feeding your brain some positive vibes. It doesn't mean ignoring the negative, it means not letting it control you. Think of it as training your brain. Just like you'd lift weights to get stronger physically, you need to practice positive thinking to get stronger mentally. Let's also touch on the importance of setting boundaries. This is a biggie. Being mentally strong means knowing when to say no, and being okay with it. It's about protecting your mental space from toxic people and situations. If someone is draining your energy, it's perfectly fine to cut them loose. You're not obligated to keep everyone in your life, especially if they're dragging you down. Imagine your mind is a garden. You need to weed out the negativity to let the good stuff grow. Oh, and let's not forget about self-care. Yep, taking care of yourself is a crucial part of being mentally strong. It's not selfish, it's necessary. Whether it's taking a long bath, going for a run, or just sitting in silence with your thoughts, make time for yourself. Recharge your batteries so you can face the world with a clear mind and a strong spirit. Lastly, embrace change. Change is scary, no doubt about it. But it's also inevitable. The sooner you accept that, the stronger you'll be. Life is going to throw you curveballs, some good, some bad. Mental strength means being flexible, adapting to new situations, and finding your balance amidst the chaos. So there you have it. Being mentally strong is like building an internal fortress. It takes time, effort, and a whole lot of self-reflection. But once you've got it, you're unstoppable. You become that person who stands tall, no matter what. And trust me, that's a powerful place to be. Number 5, cultivate inner strength. Alright, let's dive into this. When it comes to Stoicism, one of the real game changers is cultivating inner strength. It's like building a fortress within yourself that stands tall and unshakable, no matter what life throws at you. This isn't about physical strength, but rather the kind of inner fortitude that keeps you steady and resilient. So, how do we go about this? Let's chat about it. First off, let's talk about virtues. In Stoicism, virtues are like the foundation of your inner strength. Think of them as your core values: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Each of these plays a vital role in fortifying your inner world. Wisdom helps you make sound decisions. Courage gives you the bravery to face challenges head-on. Justice keeps you grounded in fairness and integrity, and temperance helps you maintain balance and self-control. Together, they create a strong, resilient character. Wisdom, my friend, is not just about knowing stuff. It's about understanding life's deeper truths and applying them. Imagine you're navigating through a storm. Wisdom is your compass. It helps you see the bigger picture, understand what really matters, and make decisions that align with your values. It's about learning from experiences and constantly evolving. When you cultivate wisdom, you're less likely to be swayed by fleeting emotions or external chaos. Now, let's talk about courage. Courage isn't just for superheroes or historical figures. It's that everyday bravery you show when you stand up for what you believe in, even when it's tough. It's the strength to face your fears, to step out of your comfort zone, and to keep going when the going gets tough. Think about the last time you faced a daunting situation. Remember that feeling of pushing through despite the fear? That's courage. And the more you practice it, the stronger it gets. Justice might sound like a big, lofty concept, but it boils down to fairness and integrity. It's about treating others with respect, standing up for what's right, and maintaining your moral compass even when it's challenging. When you cultivate a sense of justice, you're not just building strength within yourself, but also contributing to a better, fairer world. It's about doing the right thing, even when no one is watching. Temperance is all about balance. It's that inner discipline that keeps you from going to extremes. It's the ability to enjoy life's pleasures without being ruled by them. Imagine temperance as the steady hand that holds the reins, guiding you through life with moderation and self-control. This virtue helps you stay grounded and focused, preventing you from being swept away by desires or impulses. So, how do we cultivate these virtues in our daily lives? Start small. Practice mindfulness and self-reflection. Take a few moments each day to check in with yourself. Are your actions aligning with your values? Are you facing your fears with courage? Are you treating others fairly and maintaining balance in your life? These little check-ins can make a big difference. Another key aspect is continuous learning and growth. Read, explore, and engage with new ideas. Seek out challenges that push you to grow. Embrace failures as learning opportunities. Remember, every experience, whether good or bad, is a chance to strengthen your inner fortitude. Don't forget the power of community. Surround yourself with people who inspire and support you. Engage in meaningful conversations and learn from others. A supportive community can provide the encouragement and perspective needed to cultivate inner strength. Lastly, reflect on your journey. Take time to look back at how far you've come, the challenges you've overcome, and the growth you've achieved. Celebrate your victories, no matter how small, and use them as motivation to keep moving forward. In the end, cultivating inner strength is a lifelong journey. It's about building a resilient character that can weather any storm. By focusing on virtues like wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, and by practicing mindfulness, continuous growth, and community support, you can create a strong, unshakable inner world. So, keep at it. Number 6. Negative visualization. Negative visualization is essentially a mental rehearsal of bad things happening. I know, it sounds a bit gloomy, but stick with me. The idea isn't to make yourself miserable by thinking about all the terrible things that could happen. Instead, it's about mentally preparing yourself so that when something does go wrong, you're not caught off guard. Let's break it down. You start by taking a few moments each day to imagine losing something you value. It could be anything: your job, your health, a relationship. Picture it in detail. Feel the emotions that come with it. Scary, right? But here's the twist. By doing this regularly, you become less attached to these things. You start to appreciate them more because you realize they aren't guaranteed. And if the worst does happen, you're already somewhat prepared for it. Think about it like this. Athletes train for years to perform in the big game. They don't just practice the easy parts, they prepare for the tough moments, the obstacles, the failures. Negative visualization is mental training for life. By confronting potential hardships in your mind, you build resilience. You develop a mindset that can handle whatever comes your way with grace and composure. Now, let me share a personal anecdote to illustrate this. A few years ago, I went through a rough patch where everything seemed to be going wrong. My job was stressful, I was dealing with health issues, and my relationships were strained. It felt like the universe had it out for me. During this time, I stumbled upon the concept of negative visualization. I decided to give it a shot, even though it felt weird at first. I started small. Each morning, I'd take a few minutes to imagine losing something minor, like my morning coffee spilling. I'd picture the mess, the frustration, the inconvenience. Then I'd move on to bigger things. Losing my job, my health taking a turn for the worse, falling out with friends. It wasn't fun, but it did something incredible. It shifted my perspective. Instead of fearing these losses, I started to see them as part of life. When smaller setbacks did happen, I was less rattled. I could take a deep breath and move on. The beauty of negative visualization is that it doesn't make you a pessimist. On the contrary, it helps you appreciate what you have. When you imagine losing something, you start to value it more. You become more present, more grateful. It's a powerful antidote to taking things for granted. Let's not forget, though, that this practice is just one part of a broader Stoic approach to life. It works best when combined with other principles like focusing on what you can control, accepting what you can't, and cultivating an attitude of gratitude. It's all interconnected. In the end, negative visualization is about balance. It's about facing the harsh realities of life while still finding joy and meaning in the present moment. It's a reminder that nothing is permanent, and that's okay. By preparing for the worst, we can truly appreciate the best. So, give it a try. Next time you're enjoying a quiet moment or relishing in a small victory, take a second to imagine it slipping away. It might just make you savor it all the more. Number 7. Don't think about living in shame. Let's talk about something that eats away at us all: shame. It's a sneaky little thing, creeping up when you least expect it, making you doubt yourself, your worth, your choices. But here's the kicker: shame only has as much power as you give it. That's where the Stoics come in, offering some rock-solid advice. Don't think about living in shame. Easier said than done, right? Let's break it down and make it real. Imagine you're at a party, and you say something stupid. We've all been there. Your face goes red, your palms get sweaty, and you just want the ground to swallow you up. The next day, that moment replays in your mind over and over, like a broken record. You start thinking, what must they think of me? That's shame talking. It loves to play the highlight reel of your mistakes. But guess what? Most people are too wrapped up in their own lives to dwell on your slip-up. Marcus Aurelius would tell you to flip the script. Instead of fixating on that embarrassing moment, Focus on what you can learn from it. Maybe next time you'll think before you speak, or maybe you'll realize that one awkward comment doesn't define you. Aurelius believed that our perceptions are within our control. So, why let shame take the wheel? You get to decide which stories you tell yourself about your experiences. Let's take another scenario. Maybe you failed at something big, like a job interview or a project at work. It's easy to spiral, thinking that failure means you're not good enough. But here's the Stoic twist: failure is just feedback. It's not a reflection of your worth. Epictetus, another Stoic sage, would say that it's not the events themselves that disturb us, but the views we take of them. So, if you're viewing failure as a final verdict on your capabilities, you're setting yourself up for a shame spiral. Instead, see it as a stepping stone, a learning opportunity. Think about kids learning to walk. They stumble, fall, get back up, and try again. No shame, just determination. Why do we lose that resilience as we grow older? Society tells us we should be perfect, but perfection is a myth. Even the greatest minds and achievers have their share of blunders. What sets them apart is their refusal to be defined by those mistakes. Now, let's get a bit more personal. Have you ever felt ashamed of who you are? Maybe it's about your background, your looks, your preferences. Shame can burrow deep, making you question your very identity. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, had some wise words about this. He believed in the inherent dignity of every individual. Your worth isn't contingent on external approval. You're valuable just as you are, with all your quirks and flaws. Embracing this truth is a powerful antidote to shame. One more thing: practice self-compassion. We're often our harshest critics. When you mess up, instead of berating yourself, try talking to yourself as you would to a friend. Would you tell your friend they're worthless for making a mistake? No, you'd probably offer some kind words and encourage them to keep going. Give yourself the same grace. Breaking free from the grip of shame isn't an overnight thing. It takes practice, a shift in mindset. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, not those who drag you down. Engage in activities that boost your confidence and remind you of your strengths. And remember, every time shame tries to rear its ugly head, you have a choice. You can either let it dominate your thoughts, or you can challenge it with the wisdom of the Stoics. In the end, living without shame is about reclaiming your narrative. It's about recognizing that everyone has their moments of doubt and embarrassment. What matters is not letting those moments define you. So, take a deep breath, stand tall, and remember, you are more than your mistakes, and you have the power to live unburdened by shame. Number 8. By exercising self-control, one can transform an insult into an offense. So, the idea here is that self-control can take something hurtful and totally flip it on its head. Think about it this way: when someone throws an insult your way, it's like they're handing you a hot potato. You can catch it and get burned, or you can just let it drop. The trick? Exercising self-control. But how exactly does that work? Let's explore. First off, self-control is like your mental gym. The more you work on it, the stronger it gets. Picture this: someone calls you a nasty name. Without self-control, your immediate reaction might be to snap back, feel hurt, or let it ruin your day. But with self-control, you pause. You breathe. You decide how you want to react. This pause is your power move. Imagine insults as arrows aimed at you. Without self-control, those arrows hit their mark and cause damage. But with self-control, you hold up a shield. The arrows bounce off, leaving you unscathed. This doesn't mean you ignore the insult. Instead, you choose not to let it affect you. You understand that the insult is more about the insulter's issues than about you. Think of it like this: someone insults you. Instead of taking it personally, you can view it as a reflection of their character, not yours. By doing so, you shift the power dynamic. They aimed to hurt you, but you didn't let them. You took their power away. That's the magic of self-control. Let's take a deeper look. When you're in control, you can transform an insult into an opportunity. Sounds weird, right? But it's true. That insult can become a chance to practice patience, to show kindness, or to demonstrate your strength. It's like turning lemons into lemonade. You take something sour and make it sweet. Here's a relatable scenario. You're at a family gathering, and a relative makes a snide comment about your life choices. Without self-control, you might react defensively, escalating the tension. But with self-control, you can smile and say, "I appreciate your concern," and move on. You've shown grace under pressure, which speaks volumes about your character. Another aspect to consider is empathy. By exercising self-control, you can sometimes see where the other person is coming from. Maybe they're having a bad day, or maybe they're dealing with their own insecurities. Understanding this doesn't excuse their behavior, but it can help you not to take it to heart. It's like stepping into their shoes for a moment, which can soften the blow of the insult. And let's not forget humor. Sometimes, the best way to deflect an insult is to laugh it off. This doesn't mean you're not taking it seriously. It means you're choosing not to give it power. A well-timed joke can diffuse tension and show that you're above petty insults. It's a clever way of saying, "Your words don't control me." Self-control also involves setting boundaries. If someone repeatedly insults you, it's okay to distance yourself from them. This is part of protecting your peace. By exercising self-control, you're not just reacting to individual insults, you're making a broader decision about what kind of behavior you'll tolerate in your life. To sum it up, self-control is your secret weapon against insults. It helps you stay cool, turn negatives into positives, and maintain your inner peace. It's like being the calm center of a storm, unaffected by the chaos around you. So next time someone tries to bring you down with their words, remember, you've got the power to rise above it. You've got the power to transform that insult into nothing more than a fleeting breeze. Stay strong, stay in control, and let your true self shine through. Number 9. The principle of radical acceptance. Radical acceptance is a profound principle rooted in the understanding that suffering often arises not from the events themselves, but from our resistance to them. It is the practice of fully embracing reality as it is, without judgment or attempts to change it. This acceptance is not passive resignation but an active process of acknowledging and coming to terms with the truth of our circumstances. It is about recognizing that while we may not have control over external events or other people's actions, we do have control over our own responses and attitudes. At its core, radical acceptance is a form of psychological and emotional liberation. It frees us from the futile struggle against what we cannot change, allowing us to conserve our energy for what we can influence. By accepting reality as it is, we reduce the emotional turmoil that comes from unmet expectations and the incessant desire for things to be different. This doesn't mean we condone or approve of harmful actions or unpleasant situations. Rather, we acknowledge their existence and choose to respond in a way that aligns with our values and promotes our well-being. Practicing radical acceptance involves a few key components. One effective approach is the use of acceptance statements. These are affirmations or reminders that reinforce the mindset of acceptance. For instance, statements like "I accept that I cannot control others' actions, but I can control my response to them," or "I accept that life is unpredictable and change is inevitable," can be powerful tools in reprogramming our thought patterns. Regular repetition of these statements helps internalize the concept of acceptance, making it a natural part of our cognitive processes. Another practical method is engaging in reality check-ins. When faced with a challenging situation, take a moment to assess it without judgment. Ask yourself questions like, what is the reality of this situation, and what are the facts, not my interpretations or fears? This practice helps ground your emotions and focus on actionable aspects rather than getting lost in wishful thinking or negative spirals. It encourages a clear-eyed view of circumstances, promoting a more measured and thoughtful response. Letting go rituals are also beneficial in the practice of radical acceptance. These rituals serve as symbolic acts to release unmet expectations, past hurts, and emotional baggage. One simple yet powerful ritual is writing down your grievances, fears, or unfulfilled desires on a piece of paper and then burning it. The act of watching the paper turn to ash can be a cathartic experience, symbolizing the release of those burdens. Alternatively, engaging in mindful practices like yoga, tai chi, or meditation can help physically and mentally release tension, fostering a sense of peace and acceptance. The journey of radical acceptance also involves cultivating mindfulness. Mindfulness teaches us to observe our thoughts and emotions without immediately reacting to them. Through regular mindfulness practice, we develop the ability to create a mental space between stimulus and response. This space allows us to choose how to react, rather than being driven by knee-jerk emotional responses. Over time, this practice builds a buffer that makes us less susceptible to emotional distress caused by external negativity. Building emotional resilience through radical acceptance is a gradual process. It requires patience, practice, and self-compassion. It's important to remember that acceptance doesn't mean giving up on improving your life or striving for positive change. Instead, it means recognizing the present moment for what it is and responding to it in a way that is healthy and constructive. By letting go of resistance and embracing acceptance, we can navigate life's challenges with greater ease and grace, ensuring that external negativity has minimal impact on our well-being. This profound shift in perspective allows us to live more fully, with a sense of peace and empowerment that comes from truly embracing reality. Number 10. Focus on what you can control. One of the fundamental tenets of Stoicism is the clear distinction between what we can control and what we cannot. This principle, championed by ancient Stoic philosophers like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius, forms the bedrock of Stoic thought. By internalizing and practicing this principle, we can safeguard our peace of mind and ensure that external events and the actions of others do not disturb our inner tranquility. To fully grasp this principle, it's essential to first understand what is within our control. According to Stoic philosophy, we have control over our own thoughts, beliefs, attitudes, and actions. These internal elements are our domain, and we can shape and influence them through conscious effort and practice. On the other hand, external events, other people's actions, and outcomes are beyond our control. These externalities are part of the vast and unpredictable world in which we live. Applying this principle in daily life involves a shift in mindset. Instead of reacting emotionally to external events or the behavior of others, we learn to respond thoughtfully. For instance, if someone criticizes us unfairly, rather than becoming defensive or upset, we can choose to focus on our response. We can control how we interpret the criticism, how we feel about it, and how we choose to respond. By doing so, we maintain our inner peace and avoid unnecessary emotional turmoil. Focusing on what we can control builds resilience. Life is full of unexpected challenges and setbacks. By directing our energy toward what we can influence, our attitudes, our efforts, and our responses, we become more adaptable and resilient. We are less likely to be thrown off course by external events because we are anchored in our own internal stability. A key aspect of this principle is letting go of attachment to specific outcomes. While it's natural to have goals and aspirations, becoming overly attached to them can lead to disappointment and frustration when things don't go as planned. By focusing on the process rather than the outcome, we can find contentment and fulfillment in our efforts, regardless of the results. This detachment doesn't mean indifference, rather, it means finding peace in knowing that we have done our best within our sphere of control. Consider a scenario where you are working on a project at work. You put in your best effort, But the project's success also depends on factors beyond your control, such as the market conditions or the decisions of higher management. By focusing on what you can control, your dedication, your quality of work, your attitude, you can take pride in your contribution, regardless of the project's final outcome. This mindset not only reduces stress, but also enhances your sense of accomplishment and satisfaction. One of the greatest benefits of focusing on what we can control is emotional stability. When we accept that we cannot control other people's actions or the random events of life, we free ourselves from the emotional roller coaster that often accompanies attempts to manage the uncontrollable. This acceptance leads to a more balanced and serene state of mind, where we are not easily disturbed by external disruptions. In conclusion, the Stoic principle of focusing on what you can control is a powerful tool for maintaining inner peace and emotional resilience. By recognizing the limits of our control and directing our efforts toward our own thoughts and actions, we can navigate life's challenges with a calm and composed mindset. This principle not only shields us from unnecessary distress, but also empowers us to live more meaningful and fulfilling lives. And there you have it, 10 powerful Stoic principles to help you build an unshakable inner fortress. Remember, true strength comes from within, and by embracing these timeless teachings, you can navigate life's challenges with grace and resilience. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more insights on Stoicism and personal growth. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Which Stoic principle resonates with you the most? And how do you plan to apply it in your life? Thank you for watching and being part of our community. Until next time, stay strong, stay serene, and keep living with purpose. See you in the next video.